What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live on a Tuesday. It's Ryan and Smart Jay. He's here. He's back. What's up, Jay?
Smart Jay. That's a little nicer today than it was yesterday, huh? Had some
Nicer
twisters.
outside. Well, there's no tornadoes in the area that I know of, so yeah, that would make it a little bit nicer. But
yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I went out yesterday after the twisters to
after the twisters, you act like they just fucking
I
like annihilated the city or some shit. There was one it was a bad thunderstorm and one EF0, maybe an EF1 may have touched down briefly somewhere, but yeah.
There was one during a live broadcast. Did you not see that?
It was it went over the studio. I think I don't know, it was Fox 35. I don't remember who it was. One of the local Orlando stations is kind of
Pretty
where
neat.
it went right directly over them. And the weatherman, that was the weatherman had his moment. He's like, I need everybody to get down. Everybody come into the studio, get under the furniture, get in your position, stay safe. Come on in here. Everybody stay down, stay sheltered. You can hear the debris on the roof right now. It's passing right over us. That was his moment to shine, to take charge and order everybody around and be like, but I'm still broadcasting. So, pretty cool moment.
They just had the outside camera feed showing debris. I went back to my PO box and I got some really cool stuff. I'm not showing it off because it's in the other room, but no butter dishes. But right next to my PO box is a Walgreens, and I was like, I needed to get some eggs. I didn't, so I figured Walgreens would have some eggs to buy, which they did. They were like $7 and almost $8. But I got in line. There was a person in front of me with some kind of fungoid cream. And it makes you take a step back while you're in line, you know?
Yeah, was he wearing sandals too? You step away from those?
It was something for toe fungus. And I was like, I might be a little too close. Well, I have a carton of eggs at a pharmacy. Of all things.
I like Walgreens.
Yeah.
No.
It's weird that they actually do have a little grocery section.
They have a small little grocery section. Yeah, just the essentials, you know.
Yeah. So it's I get in line and it's this person had, a few tubs of that toe fungus.
A few tubs, my God.
Yeah, a few boxes of whatever that was, and you could see it clearly because I'm like, man, why are they buying six of those things? So I kind of just took a little step back. I don't want that stuff.
Maybe he's getting it for his, mom whose feet are disgusting or something.
It's a lot.
Did he look like he had the fungus?
It was a woman, and probably could have had the fungal. Probably could have had it.
Flip a coin. I can just tell by looking at you, you got some kind of fungus.
Yeah.
One of those.
Well, women. People that go to Walgreens that are just there to get quick medicine. So they don't
I mean, that's usually what I'm there for, but it's.
But I mean, it's the clothes they're wearing.
It's usually Dayquil or something.
Looks like a quick bathrobe is on. Indoor sandals. They got a hat on, to cover their hair. That's
probably one of the easiest places to get sick at is fucking Walgreens.
Yeah.
Because half the people that go in there are just going to be coughing and shit and looking for getting their Mucinex or their Dayquil or whatever the fuck.
Mucinex. Yeah, exactly.
Mucinex. Yeah.
Yeah. You need it. So I don't know, man. I hope I don't end up with toe fungus. That'd be awful.
Yeah. If you did, I wouldn't tell anybody about it. I wouldn't.
No, I don't think I will.
I wouldn't share it.
I think I've shared enough.
The chat for 2. # Jay is always right. Empty-headed for 199. I agree with Josh. Bring Jay back.
I'm wearing a hat. Does that help?
Shadow's saying for $10, Snow White tickets on sale. Weird. Yeah, the Snow White tickets just went on sale less than 2 weeks before they opened. So Little bit late release date for, ticket buying. Don't know exactly why that was, but that is the case. That is the case. My man Dom with 5 gifted memberships. You know what's so funny? Is Dom begged me and begged me. He gave me this Yankees hat to wear on a Sports Wars stream, and I told him, show up during the Sports Wars stream and I'll wear it for a bit. And I did. And no shitting you, the very next day, the Yankees star pitcher who's getting tens of millions of dollars a year, Garrett Cole, goes down, Tommy John surgery, out for the rest of the year. So that's what happens, Dom, when you try to take clips of people and pretend like they're Yankees fans.
You get the curse of the Bambino.
You did this, Dom. That's on you, buddy. So you better apologize to all the Yankees fans out there for what you did.
Tommy John is like elbow, right? It's like
yeah. I think it's
they get these
UCL,
like amazing scars that go down.
Ulnar crucial. I don't know. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's your UCL. And yes, it's in the elbow. And that's the common pitcher injury. But Garrett Cole, went all through this offseason. A little elbow trouble. Oh, he might need some rehab, blah, blah, blah. Boom, spring training, Tommy John surgery, out for the fucking year. Done. Finito. Sorry about that, Dom. Tobias Nexus for 10. Yeah, everybody get under your desk. It's not like a twister can lift up your crappy desks and fling them around at high speeds. Glad we just have fires. No twisters or tornadoes except the car fire. Well, the point is not that being underneath a sturdy table or something, even in like earthquake, whatever. It's not that it gives you you're invulnerable to anything. But if something falls, if something crashes down, it might give you a little bit more protection.
Yeah, the roof cracks open.
That's all. Yeah.
Pencil starts flying. Never know.
Yeah, that's all. Bro, I remember I was golfing one time and I was playing really well, and there was a storm that was rolling in. And I mean, it looked pretty bad, but it wasn't raining yet. Really dark clouds. And so we were on like the 13th hole maybe, and I was playing very well. So I didn't want to stop. Me and my buddy were out there golfing. He's like, hey, should we head in? Looks like it's gonna rain. I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking going in. I'm playing so well right now. And we play the 13th hole. It starts raining. And I'm like, I'm not fucking going in. Whatever. We can get through this. It's just rain. No big deal. Right? It's way easier to play through rain when you're playing well than when you're playing like shit. And get up to the next tee box. And in the middle of my backswing, holding a metal golf club, lightning strikes a tree. Probably, I don't know. It seemed way closer than it was. It was probably like 100 or 150 yards away. A big ass fucking tree on the side of the fairway.
Man, is like
boom.
Right, yeah.
And I fucking am like, we're done. We're fucking done. Like, grab my club, and we fucking raced. And it immediately, as we were racing back to the clubhouse, it started pouring, windy as shit. I feel like we barely got back, and we ended up taking shelter in the clubhouse. But
there's your golf story, G&G.
Yeah, I wish I would have got to finish that round.
It's too bad. I only had one experience. I was trying to finish cutting the grass because I didn't want to go out and do it again. Lightning struck. It wasn't even close. It was close enough. Holding a freaking weed whacker. That's like, yeah, I'm done. Whatever. Just half the grass will just grow lopsided because I'm not coming back out here till it all needs to be cut again.
Yeah, I've had 2 pretty close lightning strikes in my life where, like, to the point where your hair stands on its end, and it's so fucking loud. It's like the loudest thing you've ever heard. But I don't think I know anybody that's got struck by lightning though.
Me either.
I imagine Jay knows some people that have.
I don't think I do, man, unless they just didn't want to tell me.
They probably just haven't told you. Alex McCarthy for 2. I got my Xbox after 2 years. Cripple Man Gaming. Congratulations, Alex, on
2 years
getting your Xbox. That's awesome, man.
That's what you should title your YouTube channel if you start streaming it.
Cripple Man Gaming.
Yeah,
bro. Alex is gonna be like playing Elden Ring and shit and beating bosses. Be like quadriplegic beats Elden Ring before you can get good. Cripple Man Gaming. Young Staub, Ryan. Please tell me you've seen Childhood Died by Lost Souls. Childhood Died by Lost Souls. I don't think so, Young Stop. Is that one of the things you recommended me to watch? I don't think I've seen it yet. Dermy Wormy. 28 years ago, I graced this earth. Is that your way of saying that it's your birthday today, Dermy Wormy? Happy birthday, Dermy Wormy. 28 years. 28 years for Dermy Wormy on this earth. How's that feel, Jay?
You got a lot of life left in you, I think. I hope.
Passionate speech right there.
Was I at 28? I think I was in Haiti.
Mike Soros for $10. What do you guys think of Invincible Season 3 so far? I haven't seen a single bit of it.
Me either.
So
do you like it, Mike?
I have no opinion, Mike. Mike Zero's source for $5. Does going through the new Snow White movie count as community service? Asking for a friend. Also get your VA rating. It might be. Disney might pay some prisoners to go and show up and put butts in seats there. Might be an interesting tactic. But thank you, Mike Zero's source.
5 days, man. The movie comes out in 5 days, right? The 16th?
I think it's like next week, the 20th or something.
Oh, the 20th?
20th, 21st. Let's look.
It's gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, the 20. I think the official date is the 21st, but obviously Thursday previews are on the 20th. So, yeah. Yep.
I haven't seen a single. It's like the people that like Rachel Zegler, I guess, they don't want to see it because of
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, and then most people don't like Rachel Zegler, so they don't want to see it because of her. Then they don't want to see a remake because of Disney. So it's like there is like nothing out there that is convincing people to go see this film. And then allegedly, I don't know if this is true. If you saw this, allegedly they changed her story in one of the songs. The reason why she's named Snow White is because she
survived a bad snowstorm.
Yeah, she was conceived in snow, or she survived a snowstorm. So
yeah, that's like a year old at this point.
I did not really. I didn't. I never saw it. I saw that yesterday. Somebody put a clip to one of the songs, and they were just like, "Yeah, that's how they're getting away with her skin is not white as snow. It's because she survived a snowstorm while she was being born. So now she's Snow White."
Yeah, that story came out.
Wow.
I feel like a year ago at this point that was going to be the justification for her, because obviously, it's not like Rachel Zegler's super dark skinned or anything like that, but obviously, she was cast because she's Latina Snow White. So the idea that, her skin would be as white as driven snow, probably not going to be the case. So they did change it. Change it.
That's great. That's crazy.
Yeah.
People sat around and thought about this. They're like, all right, look, Snow White was a pale skinned woman. All right, with black hair. She was called Snow White because her skin was pale. She never got any sun. How do we change that for this film? Let's just say she was born in snow or something and she lived. That's a great idea. Let's put it in song so all the kids will sing it. It'll be the hip new tune, like Let It Go.
I think it was from probably Waiting on a Wish is when they introduced that. But let's just hop right into the Snow White press tour, which is now well on its way, Jay.
My prediction, they're not going to be together.
Not a single moment.
Except maybe the LA premiere, but they won't be together. They'll be separate, but in the same building. That's my only thought. Other than that, I don't think they're doing press together.
Well, so far, when it comes to Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot appearing together to do Snow White press events, you've been right, Jay. They have not been together yet. The one time we saw them together was actually at the Oscars when it created a massive controversy. When body language experts come out, when people are taking clips and this and that. And it's like, wow, they look very uncomfortable together. And not once while they were presenting at the Oscars did they even make eye contact or look at each other amid this rumored feud between them, primarily over politics, as obviously Gal Gadot is Israeli and Rachel Zegler very much on the hashtag Free Palestine bandwagon, probably like most 23-year-old liberals. But when it comes to what they have to do to actually promote this movie, so far it looks like Disney is tightly controlling everything that Rachel Zegler is a part of, including canceling the UK Snow White premiere to avoid any negative publicity because reportedly they were frightened of anti-woke backlash for Rachel Zegler. And when you look at the press tour so far, Rachel Zegler has gone out to Tokyo and not really done a press tour and press junket, but more just, hey, I'm going to give a performance here. I'm going to appear at this. Now, supposedly, she's supposed to be doing some things in Europe. I think she's headed to Spain right now. Gal Gadot is the one who right now is doing all of these interviews by herself, apparently. Good Morning America put this out yesterday.
We're having a little laugh here with our next guest, who was a big screen superhero in the Wonder Woman movies. Now, Gal Gadot is taking on a very different role as the evil queen in the new live-action Snow White. Gal, it's great to have you here. Welcome back to DNA.
Here. Thank you, guys. So good to see you.
And it's just Gal Gadot who's there. Now, this is on Good Morning America. If you look, you see a bunch of clips right now of Gal Gadot by herself doing the Snow White press tour. Here she is on Live with Kelly and Mark, Gal Gadot by herself. This was from yesterday. Jimmy Kimmel by herself. This was yesterday. This seems to be the strategy going forward. Let Rachel Zegler go and sing at something. Let her do a Tokyo thing where she sings an a cappella version. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Let Gal Gadot be the one who goes around and talks to the press because she might not say as controversial of things.
I was right. That's all I got to say. Doesn't happen often.
That's all you have to say?
Well, here's some more news. Because I was just talking about the Hollywood red carpet. This just dropped just now, which proves. Oh, I got to remove this. Sorry. Variety. Disney is hosting a Hollywood premiere of Snow White on March 15th. But the red carpet will not include the dozens of media outlets usually invited by Disney to interview the cast and creative at it premieres. Instead,
so no, you're not going to have, is this the gayest Snow White movie ever?
No.
Questions like that. Like, those people are not going to be there. This is so pathetic.
Look at this. Instead, coverage will be limited to photographers and a house crew. The studio did not comment for this story, but the scaled-back plans come amid controversies surrounding the Mark Webb-directed film. What's the controversies, huh? What could be the controversies? I wonder.
Like, they are desperate to not have Rachel Zegler speak or answer any questions. And honestly, probably the right call. Probably the right call. It's unfortunate that that's the reality for them. I obviously think the movie's going to flop, and I'm going to laugh if it does flop and when it flops. However, it's probably the right call for them is to muzzle this woman, not let her speak to anyone, because that's the only way she's probably not going to say something fucking retarded.
Yeah.
But there you have it. The Snow White press tour. The thing they desperately need to drum up ticket sales, which right now box office projections do not look good. Gal Gadot's the only one that's going out there and actually doing a media tour, whereas Rachel Zegler is just dressing up and singing for people. What a nightmare, man. The person you decided to cast as a Disney princess that you are afraid to let her speak because she's so fucking retarded and she'll say something stupid to do further damage to the movie.
I'm actually kind of surprised that, and maybe this will still happen, that they haven't taken her to the different Disney parks and put her in like a parade like they have done with other films in the past. You're not even hearing that. There's Disney parks all over the world. She could have easily gone to any one of them, and they could have just said, "Oh, and our new Snow White, Rachel Zegler," and have him wave at the crowd and all that stuff, and do some press that way. But they're not even doing that. It's still early. It could change, but I think they would have done that by now. So they're not even doing that. They should just take it on the chin and be like, "We got a surprise for everybody. We're gonna put this straight onto Disney Plus." Because we want
they can't do that.
We want everyone to enjoy. I know they won't, but they should have just done it.
It would also be retarded, right? They've spent upwards of $300 million on this. So even if this movie completely tanks at the box office, which it likely will, right? Even that, say it makes $400 million worldwide box office or something like that, and it's a huge loss for them, multi-$100 million loss. It's less of a loss than it would be if they just straight up put it on Disney Plus, you know, because that's where it's going to end up anyway.
You're thinking 400 million?
I think that's a pretty fair judgment right now. You know, somewhere between 350, 400. We'll see. We'll see how the opening weekend
I'm going to
see how the
say
second weekend looks. But when I'm looking right now at projected ticket sales, some places have it around 53 million, some places more around 60 to 70. About 2/3 in general of what Little Mermaid did. Little Mermaid was like, what, $570 million worldwide. Rachel Zegler, 2/3 of that would be 350 to 400. So that's kind of my guess.
I'm going to say 310.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 310.
Maybe.
Worldwide, 310.
And Captain America, Black Brave New World, raced to 400 million.
Yeah. Raced. It made it. 400 million. I'm telling you, man, I just feel like there are so many people that just hate Gal, and then the other half hate Rachel, that people are just going to refuse, even overseas. Yeah, the only place it might do really well is maybe in Japan. Japan or China.
You think it's going to do well in China?
Maybe. I mean, she's over there now in Tokyo, in Japan. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think she's headed to Spain right now. I think they're doing some things in Spain.
They're like canceling like red carpet premieres to even show the film.
I think it'll be I think it'll have a higher international split than it will domestic for sure, which is typical for these movies. It was a little bit different for Black Little Mermaid. International audiences really rejected that. I don't think it'll be quite the same disparity, or I think it'll be more of a disparity between domestic and international than we saw for Little Mermaid. But either way, it doesn't have a shot in hell of making any fucking money. Even if this movie made 570 million like Black Little Mermaid, it would still lose money because Little Mermaid lost money, despite what AI or Grok might tell you, because it's based on outdated information. Retarded Grok, retarded AI. I'm so tired of this shit. They spent $300 million on The Little Mermaid. Reported the budget is 250, ended up being 300. They spent about $150 million on marketing. It didn't come close to breaking even at 570 million.
Don't forget they got paid for putting it on a Disney streaming service.
Yeah, that's how they Disney's like, oh, well, we're paying $100 million for the rights to stream this on our own streaming service. Well, that's taking money from one pocket into another, and it's a sleazy way of trying to make it look like your films are making money when they're not. All right. Where are we here? Invincible season 3. Ryan put on a Chiefs hat. God, I had every motherfucker calling me a Chiefs apologist and a Chiefs fan. And now you guys want me to put on a Chiefs hat this year.
I guess they want someone to get injured.
Eric K. Ryan, can I send you a Mark Davis shirt? Will it get rid of him for good?
Everybody's going to want you to wear this stuff. Please don't wear anything Miami Dolphins related. We're already hurt bad enough.
I'm going to wear a Tua jersey.
Ain't getting any better.
Bro, did you see that picture of Tua playing chess with one of
Yeah.
Trump's grandkids or something?
Yeah.
All the comments were like, man, how this motherfucker with CTE even know how to play chess and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. To his scrambled brains can't figure it out. Samwise GG for 2. Golfing is gay. Only
What's up,
people that say that fucking suck at it usually. But that's understandable. It's not for everybody. Not everyone can be athletic enough to play golf. Taker for 5. Ryan hasn't played Zelda Breath of the Wild. He doesn't know to put away the metal objects when the rain moves in. The more you know. That's the first one, Breath of the Wild. I played a little bit of it. I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, not too much. Assassin's Creed Shadows and Snow White on the 20th, Earth's last day, says Sir Paladin Thundercake. Yeah, on March 20th, the release of Black Samurai Assassin's Creed and also Latina Snow White. So it's going to be a big day for DEI. Eric Stratton for 777. My car was struck by lightning on the freeway in northern Indiana. Cool green right before blew the steel belts out through 100 holes in one tire.
Whew. That's probably scary.
I was always told, if stay in your car if there's a bad lightning storm.
Rubber tires
has rubber tires and stuff like this. And I don't know if that is actually what you're supposed to do, or if it actually helps, or if it was just a fucking lightning strikes the right way, you're fucked anyway. I don't know.
Man, when it's your time, it's your time.
That's a good way to think about it, Jay. Mike Zero's source for 2, more like Snow White privilege. It's true. The Machete Order. I have a feeling that Iger is pushing KK out to settle with Gina. I also think he's getting George back, but I know how you all feel about that. Well, Machete Order, I appreciate your feelings. However, you don't even know how to spell Bob Iger, so I don't know how seriously I'll take it. Regardless of whether Kathleen Kennedy is still there or not when this case goes forward, it's not going to have anything to do with Gina Carano's lawsuit. Her getting removed would not stop the lawsuit. They could settle the lawsuit with her still there or with her gone. And George is a fucking old man.
Yeah, he ain't coming back.
There's a lot of people that prey on hope that people have for this franchise, and far-fetched things like an 82-year-old George Lucas coming back to take over Star Wars. Just stop, man. That's how I feel. Because all it does is get you ready for more letdowns.
I think Iger has an easy out in the lawsuit. I think he just can blame Chapek because Iger wasn't even there when all that happened. So he could just be like, yeah, I wasn't in charge. That was Bob Chapstick. He did all this. So let's just settle and move on. Or whatever happens.
Yeah. But yeah, regardless of whether Kathleen Kennedy's is there or not, it doesn't remove anything from the lawsuit. It doesn't make it easier to settle. It's just the reality. Tobias Nexus for 10. Originally, the Evil Queen was forced to wear red-hot iron shoes in a dungeon in which she danced until she fell down dead. Guess Disney didn't like that original ending and changed it to the cliff. Red-hot iron shoes in a dungeon where she danced or she fell down dead. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the the original Little Mermaid is pretty
gruesome at the end.
Yeah, she
turns into sea foam. She dies.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
So everybody look at the sea foam to remember the Little Mermaid.
Dingus for 199. Is this the gayest G&G stream ever? You're gonna have to wait till tomorrow for that, I believe. That happens tomorrow. Caveat ties for 5. I guess 310 million on the Criticalist Group box office predictions for Snow White. Y'all can add other guesses there.
Oh, I'm in the same boat, man. 310.
There you go.
310.
Yeah, I mean, I think that 350 to 400 is probably that'll be my guess for where it ends up, somewhere between 350 and 400. We'll see. Two Penny Puppet. I'm trying to get caught up with Reacher. I'm at season 2. 6 episodes in. Terrible. Well, if you think it's terrible, then stop watching it, I suppose. Two Penny Puppet. But I think season 2 is solid. It's definitely not as good as the first season. Third season's really good so far. Legendary Scrub for 2. George is coming back. He just went out for milk. Yeah, just went out for milk. How old is George? 82?
He's up there.
George Lucas age. He's 80. He's 80 years old. Man, the last couple times I saw George out in public, he looked...
Yeah, at the Indiana Jones premiere, they had some guy like right on his shoulder, making sure he was walking straight and all that stuff. He looked kind of rough.
He looked a little rough. These people just want George Lucas to come back and fucking die on a set somewhere. Like, that's what they want. Super Vask 3D for 50 Russian or Brazilian.
Russian rubles.
Seafoam is whale's piss. Is that true,
50
Dan?
Russian.
50 Russian.
He's
That's
a
what
Russian
ours stands
asset
for.
or spot, whatever they call it.
Super Vask 3D. But we should also, I just want to take a moment as well to mention we've been talking about them a lot recently, but big shout out to our friends over at Meta PCs. Go check them out. Jay's been wearing the shirt. No, he's wearing the hat, not the shirt.
Yeah. I'm just
He
wearing
does have a shirt with a red mark on it, though.
Yeah.
Right
I
there.
figure red matches, so.
Red does match. But if you or anyone you know is looking to get a upgrade, a new computer for editing, whatever it may be, go check out Meta PCs. We appreciate those guys. They have ready-to-ship systems that can be at your door really quick. You can custom build your own. They're veteran-owned and operated, built right here in the United States of America. I've even been to the warehouse where they assemble these bad boys. So go check out Meta PCs. And if you need financing too, they do that through their site. So big shout out to them. Use the code 199 for a discount. That link is in the description, and after the stream will be in the pinned comment below. So big thanks to those guys. Shout out Meta PC.
Shout out Meta PC.
Chris Coran, I realized that Gal and Rachel were in the last Shazam movies together. She wasn't hated as much then, I guess. They were, but I don't know. Like,
Are they on screen together?
It was like for a brief moment. It wasn't that long, to be honest. So
yeah, a lot of people forget Rachel was in Shazam too.
She was,
including myself.
She was in West Side Story. She was in Shazam 2. She was in Y2K, and yeah, and also Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Oh, that's right.
A movie that you could say broke even. Jeremy gets hit by lightning. His boyfriend, One Pump Vass.
Oof.
You're saying that's the lightning that Dan Vass gets hit by? Or that Jeremy gets hit by? We should talk about Daredevil, Jay. Jay, have you seen Daredevil Born Again?
I have not watched it. I had to wait for
basically
it to...
everyone else.
Yeah, I had to wait for it to come out on a... I had to wait a little while before I could see it. I could probably watch it now if I wanted to, but I didn't see it. So obviously, I'm not the only one that hasn't seen it. There's a lot of people that haven't seen it.
You are not the only one that hasn't seen it. Daredevil Born Again, when it was announced that they were bringing back Charlie Cox, bringing back Vincent D'Onofrio, not just for their little one-off roles in these other shows, but actually for a Daredevil series and that it would be a direct tie-in and follow-up to the Netflix shows. There were some people out there that were excited because, hey, they like those actors, they like those characters, but there was also a lot of people out there that were very hesitant for fear of what the MCU would do to these characters. We've already seen how Kingpin got treated in the couple appearances he's made in the Hawkeye and Echo series, the way Charlie Cox Daredevil was treated when he came back for She-Hulk. Well, now Daredevil Born Again is finally here. And I gotta admit, I listen, I watched the first 2 episodes. I think it's very mediocre. And when compared to the Netflix series, it doesn't hold a candle. Now, it's only 2 episodes. I think the 3rd episode either came out last night or is coming out tonight, something like that. So 3 episodes will be out rather soon. But ultimately, I see a lot of red flags about bad ways the series could go. I think there's a way they could go where I might think, oh, that's a solid show. Certainly will never hold a candle to the Netflix series based on what I've seen so far. But it looks like a lot of people just had no fucking interest. Because look at this. Disney's Daredevil Born Again got a solid start. Its first episode gathering 7.5 million views worldwide in the 5 days after its March 4th premiere. Big number, 7.5 million. Well, it's only big if you have something to reference it to. And the idea that, as they say here, became the most watched premiere of Disney Plus of the year so far. We're 2 months in to the year by the time this premiered on March 4th. And also they've premiered effectively nothing of notoriety on Disney Plus in those 2 months. So much like they bragged about for these other shows, that's not impressive at all. And you can tell it's not impressive when you actually start to get into these details. Daredevil Born Again launches with 7.5 million views on Disney Plus. So that is the total stream time divided by the runtime. Disney does not regularly release viewership information about its streaming shows, so exact comparisons are difficult. But they talk about Paradise, Sterling K. Brown's drama Paradise, 7 million views first 9 days on Hulu and Disney Plus. But this is the more worrisome comparison. The first episode of fellow Marvel show Agatha All Along hit 9.3 million views in its first week. Now that's 5 days versus 7 days. But when you consider that the majority of it's going to kind of be up front, and you even got those weekend numbers in there for Daredevil, when you're talking about that 5-day viewing number, it's probably tracking just a little bit less or right on par with Agatha All Along. That is a huge fucking disappointment for them, because this is a follow-up to one of the most beloved superheroes on screen, that project that we've ever seen in Netflix's Daredevil series. This is supposedly a tie-in. This is a follow-up to that. And you couldn't even match Agatha All Along. And not only that, it's well behind the miserable, huge failure known as The Acolyte.
Yeah.
The Acolyte, 11.1 million views in this same time frame. So it's tracking 3.5, 4 million views behind The Acolyte. Now, are there some things that could go into that, like the rating? I guess maybe if you want to try to make excuses. But this should have been a highly anticipated premiere, and it only got 7.5 million views, which tells me that, one, people aren't tuning into fucking Disney Plus at all. People are tired of this shit from Marvel. People don't trust Marvel. This is an abominable start for them. This is horrific. Worse than they probably ever could have expected.
They really have no one to blame but themselves. They have put out so much content that is terrible and destroyed brands such as Star Wars and Marvel ever since. I mean, you could question like Endgame. They had a couple hits here and there, these standalone films like Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Wolverine. But everything else, a lot of stuff on Disney Plus, it's just terrible. And people, they just don't trust Disney to handle anything with respect or anything that came before it. Everybody knew this was not going to be like a Netflix show because it's Disney. So they were like, I don't even know if I should even bother, turning into it. But again, like you said, a lot of people have turned away from Disney Plus, so they don't even have access to it. And You know, the Punisher's coming up next. So you wonder if anybody's even going to watch that. The Punisher has like a standalone show or something that's coming out.
Well, he's going to be introduced later this season at some
Right.
point. You saw the Punisher marks on the bad cops and everything. So that's one of the red flags that I think could make this season go really fucking
massive
terribly.
flags. They're going to talk about his symbol. So it makes me wonder if they're going to like get rid of the old symbol, the correct symbol of the Punisher, and put that weird one in that we saw in the comic books, because you know they're trying to steer away from that. That is a kill sentence for that show if they do that. Very stupid, but it's hard to trust this company when they can't get anything right. It seems as of late, where they think that they know better than the consumer. They put out stuff in the name of diversity and inclusion, and expect people to enjoy it and clap their hands and say everything is great when it's not. It sucks. So why watch it? Why bother watching it when it's like, well, I guess maybe you are waiting to hear what other people are saying. Who knows? So I'm wondering like what the Netflix numbers were. I guess we don't have those.
That was also a different era. Like it would be impossible to even right now to compare those, because one, Netflix has probably 200 million more subscribers than they had when Daredevil first aired on that platform and all those things. So I don't even know if it'd be worth really comparing, but the idea that this got this significantly less than something like Acolyte and is not even tracking on par with Agatha All Along, a direct Marvel comparison from last year.
Yeah.
This is like worst case scenario for them.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, they already nerfed the Kingpin in the Hawkeye TV series. So everyone was, was that what it called? X? I can't even remember. That's how
Hawkeye and Echo.
That's how memorable those shows were. And I don't remember the last Marvel Disney Plus series I watched. I never finished Loki. I didn't see any of the Captain America one because it was out. And then, so that's pretty much it. And what do they expect, man? What do they expect? They've damaged the brand. Nobody has faith in them anymore. You know? And then we had Captain America come out, which was just a Falcon movie where he wore red, white, and blue. You know, thinking that was going to be great, but here we are.
Yeah, it definitely looks like apathy is kind of I mean, it has been setting in for a while, but you know, I expected divided reviews, but I expected a bigger number here from the idea that people knew who it was. They used him to draw people in, and it didn't work.
Do you think Daredevil is just maybe because Daredevil is a lesser known character that wasn't in the films? You know, he made a guest appearance in the Spider-Man movie, but
you can make those excuses, but he's better known than fucking Agatha.
Correct. Excellent. You know what I mean? Like, excellent point.
Yeah, like you can make that excuse. You can talk about, oh well, you know, the rating may have kept some people away, and you know, Daredevil, as beloved as the series is, maybe not that, but we're comparing it to fucking Agatha Harkness.
That's a great point.
Like,
I was just trying to see like what kind of excuse they're gonna run.
It's a disaster.
Run for this. Yeah, when you come in below the Acolyte, that is something. This is not even gonna rank on the top 10, is it?
Who knows? Obviously, 7.5 million. When you look at watch time, it might be a different story, right? Because 7.5 million views. I think the first episode was like an hour long, whereas Agatha All Along, it felt like those episodes were like 30 minutes. It felt like they were half as long. So from a viewership standpoint, it might pull in more minutes watched, like significantly more minutes watched than Agatha, even if it doesn't match its total view total. But I don't know.
Not looking good there, buddy.
Yeah.
Not looking good. Well,
I
think you told me earlier that they've already filmed a season 2, so like that's just gonna happen regardless.
Yeah, they're already working on season 2. I think it's already been filmed, a lot of it. So that will probably happen, but I guess we'll stand by, wait and see.
Gosh. Good job, Disney. You should be printing money with these IPs, man. But you don't.
The chat for $2 says, with Ryan's hair, he needs to get guitar and go on tour. What does my hair have to do with that?
Look like a rocker? Or does he look like a bassist? Would he be thumping the bass or hitting that electric guitar? Which one? Or is Ryan the type of guy that will light candles, sit on stage, and pull out the old acoustic? Do that.
I can't play
show.
guitar. So
Oh, there you go.
Never even tried. So probably not from me. Probably not from me. I mean, he already sings well, or thinks he does, says the chat.
I think you sing great.
I don't think I'm a great singer. I think I'm above average, but I got put a lot of passion into it, which is half the battle.
Yes.
Caveat ties for 2, and Disney Plus is for kids, not gritty violent shows. I think that's what most of the viewers for Disney Plus are, like, children, for children's content, for fucking Moana, for Bluey, all that shit. I think that's primarily what people are subscribed to Disney Plus for. The Trillist 199, apathy has arrived for Disney Marvel. Mark of Reality, I got rid of D Plus a long time ago. I love Daredevil, but I don't have access.
You think that could be the issue, is that most Disney Plus subscribers are just something to put on for, like, children, so that's why this show didn't get a lot of traction? Because I think, like, isn't Bluey's like the number one thing on that network with, like, crazy numbers. So
it's just stuff that people turn on and put their kids in front of while they're doing other shit. And that might be a large portion of their subscriber base and what they typically watch for. Tearing the Black, I think folks are out on Disney Plus in general. The show is actually solid. It should be on FX, in my opinion.
I mean, they have the access to put it on Hulu, right? If they wanted to maybe go to a more mature audience instead of Disney Plus, they could have easily just said it's going to be on Hulu.
I think they're going to do more of putting them on both in the future, so they can combine their views. So they get, like, hey, this streaming platform that's not profitable, that has 150 million subs but isn't making money. We've got another streaming platform that we paid $30 billion for called Hulu that is profitable, doesn't have quite as many subscribers, but we can put those numbers together to make it look like streaming is profitable for us, as long as you forget the fact that we paid $30 billion for this streaming platform.
Because, like, they're releasing the first 3 episodes of Andor on YouTube.
Well, the first 3 episodes of Andor season 1, right?
Season 1, yeah.
Yeah. Not
try to
not
get
like
people,
the
I
new
guess,
season.
to subscribe, I guess, and watch the second season.
Boba Fett, instead of a wand, the new Snape should use a black and mild. I like black and milds. Torgo the White for 2. Should have put it on Hulu. Surprised they just didn't do it on both. Cobra Kai did that in the beginning. Well, no, Cobra Kai did not, like, hey guys, we're going to put these on YouTube. They were on YouTube Red, which at one point in time was like YouTube's attempt to get into making shows like that. So that show started on YouTube as part of YouTube Red, not like they put it on YouTube to try to get people's attention for it. Like, that was a different thing. What are you laughing at?
Freaking black and mild joke, dude. I can just see it now, A la kazoo, a lot of the do, the zippity boppity boo. Sorry.
That's the only spell you know?
That's the only one I know. Oh, man, that's not funny, man. We gotta be a little serious. You can smell a black and mild like 2 miles away too. That's all I'm saying.
M2M for 5. Sadly, Nazad 2, I don't know if I pronounced that right, is stopping release from my theater in a few days. There may be an English dub release. This movie deserves more success over Disney. Well, considering it's made $2 billion,
I think it's doing just
I think
fine.
it's doing fine. Lord of the Realm. Breaking news. Uncle Ruckus has been casted as Mad-Eye Moody.
I like Ryan's preferred cat. Dude, that black and mild comp. Sorry, it's not that funny. I don't know why.
I can't tell you the amount of people that think that's real.
From your tweet?
Yes.
All right.
That are just like, oh wow, this show's really going all in on DEI, isn't it? Or, you know, I actually don't mind this casting. And like the amount of people that are treating that tweet as real is why I fucking hate. It is why it's so easy for people that are part of these made up scoop games to do what they do. It was literally just making a joke. And I would say about half the comments, at least, I saw taking it as a very serious, wow, I can't believe that's happening.
It was a good picture, too. It's all crooked eye.
I mean, not going to lie, that would be like a less offensive race swap casting than Snape, to be honest. But yes, this is the tweet I'm talking about. Report. Forrest Whitaker and talks play Mad-Eye Moody in new HBO Harry Potter series. Fucking 5,000.
Is his eye naturally like that? Like,
yeah, he got a droopy eye.
Lazy, right?
He got a droopy eye.
Great actor.
Yeah, I would be like, I would be less offended or whatever over that casting than Snape being black. But no, it's not true for anybody that's watching this now and thought that was true. I thought it was quite obvious enough that it was a joke. Also, the fact that Mad-Eye Moody doesn't show up until the 4th book might also have been a hint. But no, it's just a joke. Whew. Just a joke. YouTube, that's not Snape, it's Snoop. Chat song.
La da 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 da.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of memes coming from that. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Jay, did you see what Amazon came out with the other day about James Bond?
No, I can only imagine where that's heading.
Yeah, well, we talked about it a few weeks ago when this huge news broke that Amazon was seizing creative control of the James Bond franchise. And obviously a lot of fans rightly had some problems with that. And there have been some missteps with James Bond over the past 2 decades. I don't think too many people will dispute that in the James Bond era. And Barbara Broccoli, or Broccoli, I'll say broccoli because it's funnier and it sounds easier
I like
to
broccoli
say.
better.
Right,
Broccoli
with
with
Barbara
cheese.
Broccoli and Michael Wilson and the family that's been in control of the franchise for decades and decades and decades. Certainly they made some missteps. However, one thing that they did do was they were very adamant about not turning James Bond into some sort of cinematic franchise and not just pumping out content like we see happen with every one of these other IPs right now. And of course, a big article came out in the Hollywood Reporter that revealed some behind the scenes stuff that has Jeff Bezos right here. Pretty good art. Licensed to shill inside Amazon's 007 takeover. And some of the things that they revealed were that when Jeff Bezos read that Barbara Broccoli called the Amazon execs fucking idiots, he reportedly said, "I don't care what it costs, get rid of her." So they paid an extra $1 billion to get full creative control, no strings attached for James Bond. Early ideas that Amazon pitched: a Moneypenny spinoff series, a series on CIA agent Felix Leiter, and possibly a project with a female James Bond. So turning it into a fucking content mill. Well, Amazon, maybe because they read so many of these reports and so much of the worry that's out there, They apparently put out a statement, not to the press, but instead to everyone that works at Amazon. James Bond, quote, will remain British and male under Amazon's management of the character, according to a report. The Daily Mail reports following speculation of how 007 character will evolve with Amazon. An internal memo was circulated at the studio stipulating the spy will not change gender or nationality. Now, as we've seen, just because they say British doesn't mean white. So they didn't say he'll remain British, white, and male. That remains to be seen. But I feel like they probably put this out because of all of the different rumors and reports and things like that that have been going on there about fears of what Amazon will do to the character. I don't have necessarily any faith that they'll stick to this over time or that they won't do a female 007, not a female James Bond project. But my the reality is, it's not even a concern. It's guaranteed to happen. All these things that they pitched when Barbara Broccoli called them fucking idiots about doing a bunch of streaming spin-off series that no one's going to be interested in, that's going to dilute the IP. All those things are 100% going to happen, regardless of who they cast as James Bond.
It's going to be a mess, dude. I think it's going to be exactly what you predicted, no matter what kind of statement they make. It's just going to be it's just going to be content. It's not going to be like the heart and soul of what James Bond used to be. It's just going to fill. They might even do like a collective series, and it just. I do think that they're going to like take a deep dive into like some stupid origin stories, like the origin of Jaws or Odd Jobs. Maybe Odd Jobs and Jaws will team up, and do some evil stuff. I don't know, man. It's Amazon. I don't know. I just think this is just a bad idea. James Bond, when a Bond film came out, it was an event. You went to the theater and watched it. Of course, a lot of people didn't like the last one. I didn't see the last one. Apparently, James Bond dies, but no one's ever really gone in Hollywood anymore. So keep bringing.
They're obviously rebooting the franchise, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, it just was bad. I think these are just little trophies that billionaires want to own, and they don't really care about what happens. So the guy that owns Amazon, good old Jeff, he owns Lord of the Rings, he owns James Bond. Just do whatever you want. I could say I have them in my collection. When I have dinner with Bob Iger, it's like, yeah, you got Star Wars, I got Lord of the Rings. Oh, you got Marvel, I got James Bond. And they don't care. I hope not, but still, it's like I can't see like them making a James Bond movie and making it like some really cool event, that you sit down and watch on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they need to get back to the roots when it comes to James Bond, and listen to the fans. And look, the Broccoli family and Michael G. Wilson, the people who've been the custodians of James Bond for the past several decades, they have made some missteps. There's no doubt, but they did have, like I said, they didn't want to see James Bond turned into what every other franchise has been turned into. And they got paid $1 billion to walk away from it. $1 billion fucking dollars that Jeff Bezos just handed to them to say, no, we don't want you interfering. We want full creative control. And that's what's happened.
Yeah, it's just if James Bond goes the route of like say Star Wars and they just make TV shows for Amazon, and side quests and side missions and take, maybe they do like something with Q. Who knows? It's going to devalue the franchise completely and it's going to stink.
Greedy Graffiti for 10. What's up, players? Have y'all ever considered doing behind the scenes video that shows your streaming setup, microphones, lighting, interfaces, etc.? Jay's would probably be cooler than mine. Mine looks like shit.
That's all I got. I got I got an Amazon light. It was like $10. It's about this big. It's a square. And a Rode mic.
You mean you got a light from Amazon?
I probably need a new mic, but it's just a Rode podcaster mic. That's it. Nothing special.
How many screens
do you have?
Screen.
What's that?
How many screens do you have?
2.
I have 3.
Yeah, I don't even have 3. I'm not that cool.
Well, you'll get there. The Singing Tigs for 2. Accio, Watermelon, Leviosa, Hennessy, and shit. Hail 199. Thanks to Singing Tigs. Grabdar's Hammer for $10 over on Locals says, have some shekels. Well, thank you, Grabdar's Hammer. We'll take the $10. We appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. And I think we're caught up over on Rumble as well. And we're right at the 1 hour point. Tobias, there can still be female 00 agents. They can make plenty with that cannon without needing to destroy already established cannon. The only real cannon is 00 missions are insanely deadly. Thank you, Tobias. All right. Jay, what do you got going on, man?
It's Tuesday, so I'm probably just going to do a little gaming stream. Kind of keep it chill. That's about it. Nothing special on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Pretty simple. Probably have a couple videos making, and then that's it. Probably just play some games later and keep it simple.
Better Jake said I'd happily bang Zegler. Me too. All right, that's going to be it for us. Thanks for hanging out today, guys. We appreciate all the support, the chats, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, wherever you are, whether it's Rumble, Locals, YouTube. And we won't talk to you tomorrow.
Nope.
That'll be the ambiguously gay duo. But we'll be back on Thursday. Bye, everybody.